All right, well, good evening. Thank you for coming. We're going to go ahead and get started. We want to honor your time, and we want to try to get you out, hopefully around 8 o'clock tonight. But let me just open with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all these parents, these students that came tonight. Thank you for their sacrifice of time to come hear about what's going on at Strong Rock, Lord, and their support and their commitment and their partnership with us. May your presence be here with us tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, before I get started, this is actually my third State of the School address, and I wanted to many of you know me, many of you have known me for years, but you may not know how I got to Strong Rock. So I'm going to try to make this brief, but yet give you a little insight to that. So back in probably 2008, some good friends of ours, Pat and Jeanette Stewart, had moved up here from Florida. We had served in a small group with Pat and Jeanette. Our kids went to the school that they were the head of school of, and I actually coached volleyball at that school, and I coached Pat's daughter. So we came up here. We wanted to see the new school that he had just moved up to. We went to Stone Mountain, and we played in the snow and everything. And then, we went back to Jacksonville, Florida, where we lived. And we had talked for years with Pat, hey, Pat, I'd really love to get into the Christian nonprofit world. At the time, I was working for a private company, an environmental company, as a CFO. And so we had those conversations back and forth. So in the fall of 2009, I got a phone call one day. I'm sitting at my desk, and it's Pat Stewart. He says, Paul, I'd like you to prayerfully consider coming and joining our team here at Strong Rock as our CFO. Well, I was like jumping through the phone up and down. I was like, this is exciting. It's great. I went home. I told Denise, I said, honey, we can move to Georgia. And that's when the tears started, because we lived like a mile from the river and 30 minutes from the beach down in Florida, and it was really nice. But then I had to explain to her, what we were going to serve. And so we came up here. She saw the school. She met the people. Couldn't believe the environment that was at Strong Rock. And so needless to say, that December, I moved up and took the position of CFO, which I was in for 7 years until Pat's departure 3 years ago. And at that time, the board asked me to be the interim head of school CEO. And a year later, I accepted that position full time. This is my second year as the head of school. So just a little background on me to share, so you kind of know where I came from. I've graduated one son here. I have a daughter who's a junior. And just continue to be just as excited about Strong Rock today as I was when I first saw it 10 years ago, and excited to see how it's grown. So for you first-time attendees, this is your first ever State of the School address. We're going to show you some stuff, give you some details, stuff that you haven't known about, some success stories, and also some of the stuff that's look forward to coming in the near future and next year. For those of you who've seen it before, there's going to be some familiar stuff. There's going to be some stuff that you've seen before, but in the interest of filling in those people who maybe haven't seen it, we're going to go over it, but I promise I'll go over it quick. So, first of all, some of you maybe don't know, but we are actually two campuses. This is our main campus, 838 students from K3 through 12th grade. And over in Locust Grove, about 5 miles from here, we have a preschool that serves 6 weeks to K3, and we have 161 students there. Our mission statement is something that your kids state every day in homeroom. They know it by heart. If you don't believe me, ask them when you get home. We also have a vision statement. That vision statement is inspiring the next generation for Christ, and our motto is blessed to be a blessing. And these are actually things that we live by. Our mission statement, when we're trying to make decisions for the school, we're trying to decide whether or not we should do something. Oftentimes we'll go back and we say, well, what's the mission statement say? Because we want to make sure that we are true and authentic to that mission statement. And that is basically to glorify God. So we ask the question, are we glorifying God? Are we partnering with families? And is it going to make an impact? And that's how we make a lot of our decisions, from the board on down to the leadership at the school. We have some core values. We put God first. I talked about that. We pursue excellence. We act with integrity, and we serve one another. All right, this is a list of our board of trustees. We have 8 of them currently. There's a couple new names from last year. Lincoln Parks and Brian Jones have been added, and they are already making a great impact to our board of trustees. These people sacrifice a lot of time and sometimes money in investing in Strong Rock and in the lives of your kids. These guys are all very passionate about the mission and what we do here, and that's why they make such great Board of Trustee members. All right, we also have 4 pillars. Again, you're going to hear from each one of those pillars tonight: athletics, fine arts, academics, and missions. But if you notice, the thing that makes it all possible, the foundation is Jesus Christ. We don't talk about missions and the spiritual emphasis a lot, because you guys are, we want to hear about academics and strong, but we do put a lot of effort and attention to the spiritual side of Strong Rock. This year we had what we called a rush, which is, are you seeking Him? We spent 4 days in the mornings with the students in the fall. And then we just finished up this week what we called Mini Rush. And that was 2 mornings this week. And our theme for this year was chosen. And as you can see, we picked the verse 1 Peter 2:9, which says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light." So the theme that we wanted our students to get was that they're chosen. God didn't need them. He chose them. And He bought them with the price of His only Son so that we could praise Him. We talked a lot about truth. We talked about a lot about identity, their identity in Christ, and what real truth is, and how to view themselves as God views them. You see this little C in the corner here. In the fall, we had them write on little tags, "Hello, my name is." They wrote down what they felt themselves. And so we got stuff like awkward, weird, short, unloved and stuff. In Mini Rush this past week, we said, now we want you to go up and put there how God sees you. And so they started coming out: valued, loved, royalty. So it was very special. So we do have a lot of fun at Rush, but we also really drive home the spiritual message. So I got just a short video I'm going to show you. It's 1 minute long that kind of recaps our time at Rush this year. This video, incidentally, was put together from some of our worship team students: Olivia Elmore, Avery Foster, and Will Minahan. Take a look at this.
From rejected to accepted, from forgotten to remembered, from the victim to the victor. Who we are is not the same, and the change is night and day. No longer orphans, now sons and daughters, worthy and wanted, we belong. We are crowned in dignity. We are heirs to majesty. We're made for victory. We're given authority to reign like kings and queens. We're royalty. We are we're royalty. We are
All right, so now we'll get into a little bit of the makeup of Strong Rock. You can see we're about equal, male and female, just a slight edge to the females this year. From an ethnicity standpoint, we are 73% Caucasian, 27% minority. That actually is an increase of about 4% from last year when we were 77 and 23. And the reason for that is, of the new students that came to Strong Rock last summer, the ratio was 57% Caucasian to 43% minority. So as you can see, over time, we're growing more and more diverse, and I think that's paralleling what's going on in Henry County and especially in Locust Grove. I got a slide right here that tells us most of our students are coming from Henry County, 629 out of our 838, but we actually are pulling them from 13 other counties. So there's actually 14 counties that Strong Rock represents currently. You can see those counties there. All right, population breakout by school. You can see our largest school is our elementary, which is K3 through 5th grade. And then our middle school, which we call Academy, you can see 227. And then our high school is about 268 right now. That's 9 through 12. Annual revenue. We have an annual revenue of just over $11.5 million. That's our budget every year. You can see, though, that only 83% of that total that it costs to run the school every year comes from tuition. The rest comes from donations and from other revenue. You can see about 12% from other revenue and then 5% from donations. So that's very important, that even though I know tuition seems like a lot, it's still not covering everything. We still have to go out and raise some funds through other things, and we're constantly trying to find new ways to raise funds that aren't related to tuition. So expenses, you can see where most of our money goes. Personnel, 62%. That is the teachers and staff. Operations, 13%. Debt service, 8%. And food service, 6%. Those four make up just about 90% of our total expense budget each year. Capital improvements this year. We focused and spent a lot of money updating technology, which is kind of a never-ending choice. There's always technology purchases. This year we focused on portable technology, straight to the classroom, straight to the students, to give teachers some more tools in their toolboxes to help interactive learning. So you can see we bought 60 Chromebooks, 35 iPads, and we put them in these great charging carts so that they could move around to different classrooms during the day. Band got new uniforms. This was funded partially by the school and then partially by donations from private individuals, but it allowed our band to be the best dressed band in Georgia, and they had a very successful year, and their numbers continue to increase. So we renovated our baseball locker room. I know that doesn't seem like too much excitement unless you're a baseball player, but the important thing about this renovation here is it was funded 100% by baseball boosters, parents, and people who just loved baseball and wanted to see our team have a better spot there. They knocked a new hole into the dugout, and they made a mud room so that they get their dirty cleats off so that this room could stay just this pristine year after year. And that's what I'm counting on anyway, right, Toby? So, but that was completely donor funded. That did not come out of the operations budget. It didn't come out of our annual budget. It came from a donor, multiple donors, who donated specifically to make this happen and to fulfill this need for the baseball team. We also, a couple other things before I get to this. You notice the sponsor signs that are coming into the school, the brick signs. Those were also actually donated from a board member who constructed those for us, which allowed our Patriot Athletic Club to sell more advertising, which did contribute directly to funds that we had to help support all of our athletic teams. In addition, coming soon, we're going to have a brand new brick sign, very similar to those, a little nicer, at the corner of Bill Gardner Parkway and Strong Rock Parkway. So we are going to actually get a nice brick sign out there. Hopefully that will be in place before the end of this semester. We also are very intentional to partner with our community. We want to be a positive influence and a positive impact partner with the local community. To that end, we've participated in some of their scarecrow contests. We actually won second place in the McDonough contest this year. You can see some of those pictures there. We participate in Leadership Henry. We've got 5 students who are participating in Youth Leadership Henry. We partnered with SCTV to sponsor a baking challenge that some of our students were participating in. And later next month, we're actually sponsoring an open house for the Henry Chamber of Commerce to bring more community leaders into Strong Rock and kind of show off the great facilities and programs that we have here. One last thing before I turn it over to Judy to talk about academics. Just want to brag one more time on our senior class from last year. You can see here, those 69 students, they had over 180 acceptances, as you can see, from multiple colleges. Average GPA of our senior class, 4.13, which is amazing. And we actually updated since this, 88.4% of our seniors last year were Hope eligible. That means 88.4 were getting tuition for a Georgia school if they chose. And that's just phenomenal. So we bragged about it. This is actually an ad that we put in the We Are Henry magazine just to brag on your students, our seniors, and to let people know the kind of programs and the kind of results that we are seeing from a Strong Rock education. At this time, I'd like to invite our academic dean to come up, and Judy's going to give you some highlights about academics and also about something exciting that's coming to Strong Rock next year.
Thank you. I'm Judy Johnston, and I've had the joy of being a part of Strong Rock ever since we opened. And so I have two roles here. I'm the elementary principal, which means I get a hug every day. And I'm the academic dean. And people say, well, what is that? Well, it's kind of like being the central office of a public school for our school. And so I touch everything that happens with everything at our early learning center from 6 weeks till the time they leave there at 5. And I touch everything here from the time they begin as 3-year-olds till they graduate. And so I have an opportunity to invest in your children in every part of their academic lives. And so we are excited about what God has done here and what he continues to do in our academics. One of the things that I want you to be aware of is our accreditation has not changed, but you're going to hear a different name. You'll hear that we are accredited by Cognia. Well, this past year, Advanced Ed merged with a company called Measured Progress, and now it is known as Cognia. And so SACS is still under the umbrella of Advanced Ed, so you'll still hear us say the word SACS sometimes, but it is known overall now as Cognia. So we'll keep abreast. We'll continue. We had great results last time with our accreditation last year. Our final scores last year were 36 points higher than the average for schools and systems in the Advanced Ed network at that time. And so we continue to strive to be the very best we can be. We've offered new courses this year. We're always looking at what we can do, and everything changes every year, but we did offer new AP courses this year, and we always want to expand our AP program. Another thing we did this year is we made sure that we offered more in our fine arts department, and so we have classes during the day for theater arts this year instead of just during a 0 period. We're excited about the advanced courses that we offer for the upper level students and in our academy and our high school, and we've increased. This year we had 4 more AP courses than we had last year overall, and that varies a little bit from year to year. Sometimes we're not able to offer one. We may not have enough students for a course, but this year we have 4 more offerings than we had last year. And so we're always excited to give our students the best courses they can get to prepare them for college. Our Learning Lab continues to grow, and we offer services in our Learning Lab that will help students, anything from student support to enrichment. This year we're serving over 200 students in our Learning Lab, and so we're excited about being able to meet the needs of all of our students, no matter where they are academically. One of the things that we did this year, we've always had what we call PEP and PACE classes, where we work with those students who are academically enriched and really are ready to do new things. And so we entered a number of competitions this past year. And we were very, very pleased. We entered the NASA Student Astronaut Challenge. We entered a number of state writing competitions, and we placed in all of those. And so our first time out in the NASA competition, we did really, really well. And then we took a group and entered into the National Geographic Geo Challenge and went all the way to Washington, D.C. with them. And so we've had great success taking our students to a different level, not just in the classroom, but taking them so that they can compete with students across the nation, across our state, and they had great success. Our NASA Astronaut Challenge group is going back down to begin competing again with their peers in a couple of weeks, and so we're excited about what's going to happen again there. We're pleased that our students always score on or above our local, state, and national averages when we're talking about the SAT and ACT. Every single score in every single area this year is even better than last year, and so we continue to get stronger academically. We're excited this year, and I want to recognize he's helping tonight with our videoing. Will Miller had a perfect score on the ACT, and so that's an awesome honor. He also had the highest SAT score in Strong Rock's history. Out of a 1,600, he had 1,570. And so congratulations to Will for a great job. Our AP program has grown tremendously over the past 5 years. 5 years ago, we were really getting going with our AP program, really working hard on it. We had a long way to go. The score you want to get in an AP program is you want to get a 3 or higher, because that's typically the earmark for a college giving you course credit. And so 48.1% of our students 5 years ago were scoring 3s or better. And this past year, 58.6% scored 3s or better. Our average score now is up to 2.8. And so we're excited about what our students are able to do when they graduate here and go to college. Many already have a number of college credits when they do that. We have a student right now, he graduated last year. He's at Liberty University. He's already classified as a junior because of all the AP credits that he was able to get. And so we're excited, and that's done not only with keeping those courses the same, but we're adding courses, we're adding a number of students. We've tripled in the past 5 years how many courses and tests students are taking. And so we're not only just getting higher scores, but we're having lots of new students in those courses, and they're scoring well. So we're excited. We've done more training with our teachers than ever over the past couple years in AP, so we're excited about what the future continues to hold as we continue to work with that program. Paul mentioned this last year's senior class, and they were a little bit bigger than this year. This year we have 55 seniors. They're already about halfway of where last year's group was. They have 93 colleges acceptances. They have over $1.5 million in scholarships already, and 82% right now are projected to be Hope eligible, and that should continue to increase. And so we're excited about what God's going to do with this senior class. We are always doing things with our teachers. One of the things I know that we get out early every Wednesday. And so people often ask, what do you do on Wednesdays? We have a plan for the entire year, and we focus on what our teachers need to know. What do they need to learn? What do they need to be exposed to? And that can be anything from curriculum to culture. One of the things we put in place 2 years ago, we're really proud of the fact that all of our teachers are certified in some way. And most of our teachers are certified through the Georgia Professional Standards Commission. Well, in order to keep your certification, there are things you have to do. And so one of the things that they have to do is they have to continue with instruction. And so one of the things we added last year, and we've continued to expand, is we offer them choices of courses they want to take an in-depth 4-week course on. And so this year they had 2 opportunities, one in the fall and one that we're currently starting 2 weeks ago, and we're continuing with them, where they get to choose something that they feel they need in their career to help them be better teachers. And so we do a lot with them on Wednesdays. We work with data on Wednesdays. We work with our curriculum. Another thing we do on Wednesdays is vertical teaming. You know, when you're in a building and you've got pre-K all the way through 12th grade, it's pretty exciting to get all those teachers in one room and talk about what happens every year so that we're not missing anything along the way. So that when they move all the way up from a 3-year-old to an 18-year-old in a senior class, they've not missed anything and they're ready for college. So we do that routinely with them. We have a 5-year cycle where we examine curriculum, and we rotate every 5 years. So the first year you're in that cycle, we're going to revise the curriculum for whatever that is. The second year, you're going to adopt new materials. And the third year, you're going to implement those materials, and we're going to bring in training to help you as you implement those materials and teach that curriculum. And so right now, our English and language arts teachers are in the process of making adoption decisions. Our math teachers adopted last year. They're implementing, and so we've offered training for them from Bob Jones University. And we're working to make sure that everything we do here has a plan and it's cyclic, and it goes every 5 years. So we're always changing. We're always looking at what we're doing. We have a lot of programs here. One of the programs that we have is part of our Learning Lab is our speech program. And our speech program serves students both at the Early Learning Center and here. And so we're always looking. This year we added a new technology program so that we can better serve those students. So we're always looking at every program and what can we do to make it better. We have a number of initiatives and a number of exciting things that's happened. This past year, we added a pre-K class and a kindergarten class. So we're growing. And typically when students come to us at those levels, they don't leave us. And so we're excited about the new growth. We're piloting a new Bible class we've never done before in our 10th grade this semester. It's with a company called Epic. And they are partnering with people like Impact 360. They're partnering with the Truth Project, with Bible Project, with WindShape, with Josh and Sean McDowell. They have a number of people and corporations working with them to provide an amazing Bible curriculum that is done with technology online. And so we're trying that out this year to see what impact that will have on our Bible classes. And we'll find out. We're always looking at the great things that are happening, but we're also looking at what can we do better. And last year when we did observations, we collected some data. And what we learned was our weakest area, and it was still, even though it was weak for us, it was still higher in comparing ourselves to other schools and other systems going through accreditation. It was still higher than the average internationally. But our weakest area was differentiation. What are we doing differently for children in the classroom? And so this year we've had a focus on that. We've had several opportunities to work with teachers on Wednesdays. Some teachers took a 4-week course on it. We also did things with the entire staff to help them think about how can I do things differently with children so that we are making sure that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. That's something that's been important to us as we look towards the future. One of the things that we've done for a number of years is that we've put all students in 8th grade in 3 classes. We were putting them in Algebra 1, in Physical Science, in Spanish 1, and so we began to step back. We had done a little bit of change with Algebra 1, and we began to place students into that class. But this year we've looked very carefully at also what are we doing about placing students in Spanish? What are we doing about placing students in Physical Science? And we made a decision this year to come up with new criteria. And we think that this will help all students because it's not a one-size-fits-everybody. We're really tailoring the education for what they're ready for and what they are excelling in. And so it will give a number of students who've not had opportunities in the past because your schedule's pretty tight when you're in those first couple of high school years. It'll give them an opportunity maybe to take a fine arts course that they would have had to have neglected. It'll give them opportunities to focus on what they're really interested in and excel in. And so we're excited about doing that. So it's one of the big things that we're changing this year. Another thing that we're doing, a number of people have asked over the past couple of years about dual enrollment. And we're looking at dual enrollment. We're walking through opportunities, and we're looking at next year offering students opportunities to do dual enrollment and add a reduction for their tuition. It's something that we've put together a proposal that the students would propose to us. We're piloting it with a few students this year. And we want to give students opportunities. We're doing this a little bit cautiously with dual enrollment. One, because as we research and as we look, the trend is really showing that it's probably moving away from dual enrollment from the college standpoint. And also, even last Friday, I heard from a funding standpoint, the state is cutting back on those funds. And so we're still watching that. We think AP probably is the strongest way for students to continue right now to get credit for college. But we're going to look at that. And we're always going to try and keep abreast of what's happening within our state and within our nation. And then the other thing we're doing, last year we said, we're looking at adding something next year, a work-based learning program. And it's going to happen next year. So we're excited about it. It's a small step for us. This coming year, many of our students will already be in jobs, and we will work with them But we want to expand that with partnerships. We want to have internships. And so many of you are sitting here tonight, and you may be thinking that there's something that your company would love to partner with us about. And so we would welcome you talking with us about it. We're excited about what God's doing here. We're excited. The program that we're going to put together for work-based learning, Mr. Herring, and we've also brought in somebody. We brought him in last year. Their certification is business education. It's what they live and breathe. And we didn't quite have everything ready this year, but we're ready for next year. And I want to introduce to you tonight, we've got some things that we'll have handouts for this when you leave tonight. If you want to pick up a handout on it, we'll have it ready for you. But I want to introduce you tonight to Ty Lewis, who is going to be the coordinator of our work-based learning program. So welcome him now.
Thank you. What an exciting time to be part of Strong Rock. As I see all these things that they're sharing, I think about opportunity. When I hear initiative, I think about opportunity. I think about future. But I am Ty Lewis. Thank you for the warm introduction, Ms. Johnson. Most of your kids, your students, they know me as coach around campus. Some of them know me as Mr. Lewis. I've got a few that know me as Dad. I got 3 kids here myself. And I'm pumped about opportunities like this that the school is offering to give kids opportunity to learn in an authentic way and a natural way to go learn how to be workplace ready and to learn the employability skills that they need to know. I think many of you probably were part of work-based learning programs. I've heard a lot of people come to me just in the last week and mention things about, hey, I was part of a work-based learning program. I'll never forget those days. I'll never forget leaving early, getting to go work. It wasn't even a job I wanted to do, but I learned so much about being an adult and being ready for the real world. So we're excited about the opportunity for your kids. Like Ms. Johnson said, there's papers on the table. There's a face with a program now. So if you have questions or your students have questions, you've got juniors, you've got sophomores that are thinking about this, they know where to find me. They know where Coach Lewis is. I want to read a couple things about the program. The Strong Rock Work-Based Learning Program will allow seniors who qualify to practice skills and develop habits required of successful employees while simultaneously getting high school credits. The criteria, there's a pretty in-depth process, and the students got to earn this opportunity. But a few of the things is they're going to have to meet with Dr. Curse through academic advisement and make sure that they're on track with their credits, make sure that they've got 2 free periods available to go out there and take class time to go work. And they've got to have a 3.0 GPA or higher. They've got to be able to provide transportation to and from work. And they'll have to complete a 10-day training program at the start of their senior year as well. And that's just a few of the things. And it's not made to prevent anybody from getting in there. It's just made for people. They need to be on purpose and on mission and ready to represent Strong Rock in a great way. What this looks like is we already know there's a lot of existing partnerships here at Strong Rock between businesses, the community out there. We're planning to use these existing partnerships and even create new partnerships to give these students opportunities for part-time jobs, internships, apprenticeships, even medical students want to go to the medical field, possibly getting into some clinical situations. So we're excited about this. I'm excited and pumped about this. Again, I've got 3 kids of my own, and I mean, just for them to have the opportunity to be able to do these things, I'm pumped. The youngest of them is Macy Ray over here. She's yawning already. She's ready for Dad to get off the stage. But it's just a great time, great school, and we're so excited for what Strong Rock has to offer. If you or your student has any questions, please do see me afterwards today. Have them stop me in the hall. I'll give them any information they need, and we're excited to have this thing rolling. Thank you.
Ty. So basically, if your son or daughter, if their thing is they want to get into the most prestigious college they can, they're all about the academics, we have something for you. If your child is coming to school and they're thinking maybe they want to pursue a trade or something, we've got classes and programs for that. So we're trying to meet, we heard you, we're meeting the needs to cover all of your students. That's what we're working on. All right, we're going to turn this over to Tommy Webb in just a minute, but I just want to brag on one more of our seniors. Grayson Higginbotham is our first student to ever be congressionally nominated to one of the academies. He's waiting to hear from the Air Force Academy right now, but we just want to congratulate Grayson on that, and we'll wait and hear how that plays out and let you know. All right, Tommy Webb, come up and tell us about athletics.
I really am excited about being here at Strong Rock. I've been here 9 years. I started as a teacher coach. 6 years ago, I became the head football coach, and 3 years ago, I became the athletic director here. I've had a blast. The school is home to me, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. Right now, I like where we are athletically. I really like where we're going to go athletically. And one of the main reasons why is the involvement that we have in our student body that are involved in our sports. We just mentioned Will Miller back there. You know, it takes a lot to get 15 whatever on the SAT, but he's also involved in a band. He also plays soccer. So he's he's involved in a lot of things. And that's what most of our students do here, is that they are student athletes. Over 70% of our students right now are involved in sports at the academy and high school level. That excites me. To make our athletics really go, we've got to put together a really good staff. With over 60 teams and all those levels, it takes an awful lot to make that work. I'm really excited about the staff that we put together. First and foremost, they love the Lord. Secondly, they love to teach and coach kids. And third, they are passionate about what they do. And we have a very experienced staff that we put together, and it's a reason why that we know we are where we are and where we're going. What I want to emphasize is two main things, is what we do and why we do it, okay? And then talk about some of the neat things that are happening here at Strong Rock. We need to do sports the right way. If you keep up with what's going on in our society today, there's a lot of things out there that are just not really good about sport, and you wonder why we keep doing it, from sportsmanship to behavior, whatever it might be. But here at Strong Rock, we are intentional about doing things the right way. I want to make sure that we understand that going forward. There are some athletic things that go on that make us a part of the everyday student life here and the educational process that we do. Things like developing collaboration and teamwork, enhancing school pride. It can increase student motivation in the classroom. I've seen it even increase motivation to come to school. It prepares them for the future. There's life skills, physical skills, leadership skills that are all involved in being part of a team. Character and moral principles are formed, and it creates friendships, brings students together regardless of their nationality, their religion, their culture, or their skin color. So it's important that you understand that what we do here is more than just wins and losses and more than just games. It's important that we do things the right way and we make it an educational part. But above all else, we want to make sure that our athletics are in line with what we do here at Strong Rock, which is we want to enhance and complement the mission of Strong Rock Christian School, which is to impact the world for Jesus Christ. First and foremost, what we do, we are intentional about it. How we coach, how we compete, and how we cheer. The things that we do comes back to that mission statement right there. We are connected to that mission, and we want to make sure from my point all the way through, that's what we do. That's who we are. That's what we do. More than ever, we need that in our society today. We want to do things the right way. And it's important that we do that. And that's what we strive for. Sorry, I'm trying to get my papers up here. Now, as we do things, we want to present the culture by presenting the mission, promoting that mission, practice that mission, and preserving that mission in everything that we do. It's important that we understand that going forward in all that we do. Also, this is something I got from Dabo Sweeney. He's the head football coach at Clemson University. He's unapologetic about his faith. From where he's in person with his team, on the field, on television, wherever he is, he will promote his faith. And something that he says that I think is very important, he says this. I tell it to our coaches every meeting that we have. I will be accountable to God for this. What did I do with all those kids he gave me? What did I do to build his kingdom? That's what we're about. That's who we are, and we want to make sure that we do that. The second part of that is that we want to, and I've already made this very clear, how we coach, compete, and go forward. I've lost a slide there somewhere. I don't know where it is. But another thing that's very important is that we are about education. Even the NFL is set up things now that really want to stop emphasizing the scoreboard, stop emphasizing wins and losses, and think about athletics as an opportunity for our kids to be educated, to grow, make it life-changing, and it's more than just a scoreboard. And we want to be intentional about that in what we do. That is our mission, and that's what we're about. A neat thing that's going on right now is that we are going into a new region. Every 2 years, Georgia High School reclassifies schools based on enrollment and things of that nature. For the last 9 years, we've been part of a region up in this area. That included Elka, Landmark, Our Lady Mercy, and some of those schools. They have moved us into a region which we really like. We've been trying to do this because of our lower programs playing it. We're now going to be a region 1A, single A private, and most of our schools we'll be competing against will be in Macon. The Macon schools, and we've also picked up Deerfield Windsor. And so most of our teams will be in that region. Softball, on the other hand, has been moved out of region because of the number of schools in the state that participate, and they will be in an area. So a few of our teams might do that. For the most part, though, we will be in Region 1A competing against the Macon schools. That excites us. We're excited about that going forward with all of our teams. We're also, some of our programs are involved in GISA, which is another organization. Our shooting team is involved in GISA. Georgia High School does not have it. GISA does, so we compete with them. And the GAP program, which is another organization, is some of our middle school, our academy teams are involved in that. So I look forward to working with that. What is really neat is that we have a number of students involved, over 70%. We offer 16 varsity sports, not including esports, which I don't really consider a sport, but Georgia High School does. So it's not on that list, so that would really make it 17. The newest sport we've got up there is lacrosse, boys lacrosse, where we're going to start as a JV program this year. We've done a lot of research on it. It's an up-and-coming sport throughout the nation. And so that's what last year we started swimming. This year we've got lacrosse and esports. So 16 varsity sports at this school of 283 students. Actually, we have 15 academy sports, so we have an opportunity for all of our students to get involved athletically, and that's what we want them to do. So we're excited about that. I want to briefly mention a few of the things that are going on with us athletically. It'd take me forever to go through all of them, but over the last year, we've had some really neat things happen. Our softball team, under Coach Lewis' leadership, came in 9th in the state. They made it to the round of 16. Our shooting team was 9th in the state. Our equestrian team is undefeated this year. They're moving on to regionals next month. Our wrestling team last year were area champions in both duels and individual. Our baseball team made it to the Elite Eight. They had the most wins in school history. Boys soccer had our first region championship. We had a number of our other sports qualify for state. So even though we emphasize the other parts of sport, we will compete at the highest level, and our teams are doing that as well. Individually, I could go on and on and on. We have a D1 player at Georgia Tech playing football for the first time. We had Lindsey Partlow, the Offensive Player of the Year in our region for softball. Trevor Borum won the state, our second state champion in wrestling at the 113-pound class. And Sammy Woodall, who is ranked 11th in the nation in skeet. That's one of our shooting things. So that's just a few of the things that are really going on with our students and the conferences that are going on. So we're really excited about where we are and where we're going. One really neat thing about our program that makes all of this go is our strength and condition program. Coach Jacoby does an unbelievable job with them. We offer 6 classes a day. He works them out in the morning. He works them out after school. It's a year-round program for them, and we are where we are because of what he's doing there. He's been with us now 6 years, and we're excited about it. He's been named the National Strength Coach of the Year in 2018. We've had a number of our students become National Strength Associated students that are involved in that. I think it was Trey Donaldson and Danielle Goodine are our last 2 that did it, along with some others going along the way. But that right there is a key core to what we do. We're very blessed to have Coach Jacoby and that program going forward. We're also very fortunate to have a full-time athletic trainer, Erin Earp. She's provided by CHOA, which we're really excited for. She really works for most of our varsity sports, but she's pretty much involved year-round with everything that we do going on. She does an awesome job. We're excited to have her. Our facilities are second to none. At the football stadium, we house football, soccer, track, and lacrosse now. It's a beautiful thing that so many people come up and use. We're blessed to have it. Our gym right now houses volleyball and basketball and cheer, along with fine arts. Our softball and baseball complex is beautiful, state-of-the-art. I wrote this down, if I could find it, where we were named the National field and conditioning field of the year for the nation. For that softball field, thanks to Tommy Spinks and his crew and the work that's done down there with our baseball and softball program, it's second to none. We have 3 softball fields on campus, 2 baseball fields on campus, and we are very blessed to have that. And we have 2 state-of-the-art weight rooms, the one at the field house and one down underneath the stadium. You know, we are very, very blessed in what we do athletically, and it's thanks to all of you. One of the reasons why, as mentioned earlier, Paul mentioned, is our PAC, our Patriot Athletic Club. Over the last few years, we made a few changes along the way, which has given us an opportunity to raise much more money and get more folks involved. If you drive down our South Campus entrance near the end of the stadium, you'll see 4 walls put up there with sponsors. You can go down to our baseball, softball complex. We got rows on each fence line, and we have 2 boards in the gym where folks are supporting what we are doing. It's vital to our success. We appreciate everything that goes on with them. We need them to continue to do that. There are opportunities for all of us to get involved, and this is a great way to do that. We have a lot of folks working on that. In closing, I just want to thank each of you in this room for what you do for us at Strong Rock, athletically, for having your child involved in the program, for what you do in the stands, how you cheer and support, and all the things you do behind the scenes. I want to thank you so much for that. I appreciate everything you do for us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Coach Webb. We're going to hear from Fine Arts, but Stephen's not here tonight. Stephen and the musical faculty are at the GMEA conference with some continued education, learning some new things, and so we allowed them to do that, but I didn't let them off the hook, so I asked him if he'd do a little video. So watch this for the next few minutes. You're going to hear from Stephen Davis, and some of our faculty from the Fine Arts Department.
Hello, Strong Rock family. My name is Stephen Davis, and I'm the Director of Fine Arts and Worship, and I teach Worship Arts Technology during the day. I've been here going on 10 years, working alongside my wife Miranda, and have a 6th grader named Grant. My family has truly been blessed by Strong Rock Christian School. I'm very sorry I could not be there with you in person tonight to highlight the accomplishments of our Fine Arts Department. Right now, I'm currently attending the Georgia Music Educators Association in-service conference that Strong Rock Christian School graciously allows our music teachers to attend every single year. I am excited to share this video with you though, because I want to highlight all the amazing things that both our students and our directors have accomplished this school year. For the next few minutes, you will get to hear from our directors themselves, tell you about our talented students, and highlight some of our amazing programs. They will want to tell you some of the things that we hope to accomplish in the future as we continue to vision cast and set new goals for our department. Thank you so much for your attendance tonight, and I hope what we share will bless you this evening.
Well, our newest thing for our Patriot players this year is the introduction of our improv team, the Benchwarmers. They're super excited to get to have their first Improv at the Rock here January 28th at 7 p.m. I really get excited every day coming to Strong Rock and getting to see the students grow in their performances and when they really have that aha moment on stage and they really connect with their characters. Last year we were excited to participate for the first time in Literary Meet and did very well at our regions. We won 3rd overall. We also brought home 2nd place in the comedic category with White Smith, and Harrison Gerard brought home 1st place in the dramatic category. It was really exciting to be the one-act region champs for our region with our show Little Women, and then we went on to win 4th at state. And we also received Best Actress for Hayden Lockhart and Best Supporting Actor for Harrison Gerard.
So Academy Drama is flourishing, which I'm really excited about. We've done 2 shows for the elementary school this year so far, and that was one during their chapel services when we took our one-act rhymes from Bible Times and showed and portrayed Bible stories. And the other one was the Best Christmas Pageant Ever. We are doing Frozen Junior, which I am beyond excited about. And the biggest thing that I think would be helpful to make our program even better is to be able to have that facility that is dedicated to us to be able to highlight and teach our kids even more. Because we're already so far advanced in our fine arts program. Imagine what we could do if we had a wonderful facility on top of it. So in the future, for the color guard, I really want to see the program continue to grow. We went from 2 girls last year to 5 girls this year. So every competition we went to this year, we placed. Being a part of the fine arts team has been amazing because anything I need, I can go to any of my coworkers and ask, and we're really there to help support each other, and that makes a huge difference in a working environment.
I have great joy coming to school every day because I teach in a state-of-the-art Roland lab, which a donor presented to us last year. It's brand new, it's beautiful. We have some laptops. We could use some newer ones, some iPads to help with the technology. But the room is beautiful, the students are happy, and I get to watch them grow from baby beginners up through college level, and to watch them grow and excel just thrills my soul. In the past, we have taken 40 to 50 students. They play 2 songs, one by memory and a praise and worship. Last year, out of 42 students, we had 42 superiors. I have had more students go into music field after they graduate from Strong Rock. We were able to open up the opportunity for 1st grade through 4th grade to have piano class as one of their elementary specials once a week. This has made an impact on my beginning piano class as well as band and chorus. The students aren't coming to us as beginners anymore. They're coming with a foundation of note reading, basic rhythm skills. Their fingers are already limber and independent, and they know what it takes to be a pianist.
Although this class is designed to be just an introduction to piano, I'm amazed at the progress some of the children have made, not only learning the notes on the keyboard, but also learning to read music. There's probably nothing more rewarding than having the student learn the meaning behind the words and how the music was written, and then they hear it again and they actually become emotional, and that's probably been the highlight of my year this year. These classes have made so much progress in their agility and hand and eye coordination. Just hope to find more new and innovative ways to inspire kids to love music.
Some of the things that we have accomplished over the past few years are all-state chorus participants. We have potentially our 3rd all-state chorus participant in the history of the school that will be participating this February. We have more Governor's Honors Program participants than ever before, and had participated in our first GHSA literary meet competition this past year, and actually had one of our young ladies go to the state competition for a female vocalist. Our kids have really, over the past few years, cultivated just a leadership that they haven't had in the past, to where they can lead chapels almost 100% on their own. One thing that's different with Strong Rock is that there's never any pushback to participating in as many outside events as possible. In the future, we're hoping to really expand our choral program. Ideally, we would like to have an advanced chorus, even a women's and a men's choir.
The thing that makes me wake up each morning and teach at Strong Rock is the great freedom that we have to proclaim the gospel and allow students to express their faith in Jesus Christ through music. Each year, we have entire grade levels in the elementary school who take time to sing entertaining performances for their parents. I am pleased that throughout the years, both my elementary and academy choirs have received excellent and superior ratings at ACSI choral festivals. I have also worked with many students in various honor choruses. The Strong Rock Elementary Chorus has also taken time for special ministry projects for the last 2 years. Music education at Strong Rock is not just making a difference in the students' lives, the students are making a difference in the lives of men, women, boys, and girls outside of these school walls. Our students use a world-class online music curriculum entitled Quaver's Marvelous World of Music. It provides a thorough, interactive, and entertaining set of lessons using smartboard technology.
I really love that at Strong Rock for our fine arts curriculum, we have a lot of flexibility in the things that we can do, and I love to use a lot of different kinds of medium with the students. So the students have access to iPads, and they can create artwork not only pen and paint and paper, but they can also learn how to create art in a digital world as well. We do participate in the ACSI art competition, and I'm taking 3rd and 4th graders this year. I'm really excited that we have an opportunity this year. We are ordering a new ceramic kiln for the elementary classroom. Our parents actually made that happen by purchasing products through our Square One Art. As they get older and throughout their lives, they'll be able to view art and view the world around them in a way that's both pleasing to God and in a way that they can appreciate other people and other cultures.
So we did enter into the Henry County Water Authority contest. We had several who, especially from middle school, who submitted their artwork. We are doing the art festival at Creekside in March. We've opened up 3 contests to the students in Henry County. One of them is from the Department of Natural Resources to design a t-shirt for them. They're in the process of submitting their artwork for that now. The greatest thing about the art department is I'm not by myself. I partner with Margaret Livingston, who has been here since the school opened. She's a wealth of knowledge. She's the one who helps to find a lot of the opportunities out there for our students to enter into these contests because of her background and how long she's been in it. In the art world. We have some clubs going on. We have the art club. We started Art Quest for 5th through 8th grade for middle school, which there was lacking there before. So we've opened up some new things for them.
This year's been a really exciting year. Started off with our marching band. Most successful marching program we've had here as far as the awards they won. Also, it was really exciting to start the year having over doubled what our numbers were last year. And then we, of course, had the new uniforms, which was made possible by the school and also generous donations of our parents and friends of the school that allowed us to, for the first time in school history, have an actual true marching band uniform. We also were very excited to start the year with the largest 7th and 8th grade Academy Band class that we have ever had. And it's given us some opportunities to do some new things this year with the Academy Band, like splitting them into a concert band and a symphonic band, allowing our students who are ready for the next level challenge to have a group to do that. This year, the band had the exciting opportunity to participate in the Outback Bowl. We also had the chance to march in the official Outback Bowl parade. During the parade, all of the bands are judged. Our band received 2nd in class, and our color guard received 1st in class. Right now, our goals for the future are pretty simple. We're working on continuing to build the foundation that we've already started in the last couple of years. We want to see continued steady growth in all of our ensembles. And we also want to go through our program and kind of shore up some of the areas where we have some needs, like some new instruments and things like that. Our students are very excited about all of the different things that are going on in the program. They walk in our classroom every day, they're excited, and it makes me excited to be there, to work with them, to encourage them, to watch them grow. We're building more than just a band program. We're building a family and a support system for these kids, and it is a privilege to be able to work with them every day.
You guys join me in congratulating the fine arts team as well. Well, thank you all again for being here. I'm David Mann and have the privilege of serving the missions pillar. And as we begin to get ready to leave tonight, I don't want you to miss one of the slides that Judy referenced earlier. We have a student that is at Liberty University. He's a freshman or just finished his first semester as a freshman. And his second semester, he begins as a junior because of AP classes. And that's Matthew McCracken. So I'm just making sure we get that in there. Matthew McCracken. So parents, if you're looking for pocketbook savings, there is one. Because of AP, he really went from his first semester to be a junior in college. Some significant savings there as well. Most schools are three-legged stools. You have the academics, the fine arts, and the athletics. And at Strong Rock, pretty significant in all three of those pillars. We are unique in some ways that we have a fourth pillar, the missions pillar. And that is because of Doug and Rita, Danny and Lynn, and Larry and Norma Adams, their children and their families, because of their investment to plant what we have today and see and experience, and their hearts to serve and to give love and serve others. They kind of set the model and establish the need and the expectation for this missions pillar. Their mother, Doug, Danny, and Larry, and the daughter, Angela, their mother, Pauline, is named in our elementary keyboard lab, the Pauline Adams keyboard lab. And Mrs. Adams was famous for a quote that she used evidently often with her 3 boys and daughter. And she said, God doesn't give you blessings by the shovelful for you to give them out by the spoonful. And what we saw in the Adams brothers as they began the vision for Strong Rock is that they shoveled and shoveled and shoveled and shoveled. And we have the pleasure of reaping that benefit today and continuing to serve. So we did follow their model of giving sacrificially, loving unconditionally, and serving graciously. And they really did set that. But what I love about those 3 things is that the missions pillar, while it is a standalone pillar, it's a lifestyle of the 3 other pillars. If you heard Judy and Tommy speak tonight, those are foundational things that our classrooms, that are happening in our classrooms, on fields, and on stage. And so I love the lifestyle that comes with this pillar. In our international missions trips, you can see the different countries that we visited and served and had the privilege of serving in. This year, the 3 international mission trips for Minimester are, Dominican Republic, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Last year we inserted a trip to Peru because the climate was not healthy in Nicaragua nor Haiti. The climate politically was not safe for our kids. So we made that change and adjusted and ended up with a team in Peru. But I think one of the cool things about each of these trips and each of the trips that we do, even nationally and locally, is the influence of these teams is to touch children, is to love kids and their families, and to tell them about the gospel of Jesus Christ and the saving grace of what he did in their lives. And so you'll see a few faces and images that'll tell you this is kind of what the Strong Rock missions look like. This is Max Bateman with a group in Peru, a group of young men in Peru. This is a graduate in the middle, Summer Thompson, joined us for this particular trip. It's really exciting because we have graduates that are calling to come back now. In fact, we've had Bryce Carden. This year, Brinley Belk, Alyssa Rivers, Savannah Hood, and Mallory Moss are all returning to go on trips with us to lead teams. And the reason it's so important, the reason we go is for this picture right here. And her sister, which is right there, to remind them that we're all praying to the exact same God and that they can know Jesus and make him known. And so around the world, on the other side of the world, from the Pacific Ocean side of Peru is where we ended up. But it is truly to experience worshiping the same God together. This is Grace Lagan, loving on a dear friend. And right in the middle of this picture here is David, and David Blake, and he ultimately was the tallest human being these young men had ever seen. And so he sat down to get in the picture with him, and they were all over him. And David was an incredible leader throughout the team. This particular picture shows you where the Peru team actually went into slums, 2 slums. In Chimbote is the name of the district and area. And what you can't see is behind the concrete walls there that the kids go home to. But I can tell you the love of God was abundant as we did some VBS activities and just shared the gospel of Jesus Christ in their own language with Strong Rock kids translating Spanish, English to Spanish. And so it's kind of cool to see our kids step up and really use the Spanish that they're doing here. It's a very unique terrain. I had never seen it before. This is actually not necessarily beach sand. This is where the desert meets the ocean. Is where we were. So very hot, very humid, but a unique, very, very just desert climate. If I had turned around and taken the picture, it would have looked like the moon's surface is what it really looks like. No growth of any kind. It just bleeds right straight into into the ocean. And one of the things that I love about the international trip is that the kids get to try some very unique things. This happened to be one of the Peru delicacies. We'll see if it'll come. There it is, Gary. Thank you. And that is a guinea pig. And yes, we had one of our senior boys even go for the brain of the guinea pig, which evidently was still in there. So I do love that because their palates are shaped and moved. Let's see. Great day of service and missions events. You can see those that we impacted on your left. And then the long list of local ministries and agencies that we've served as well. We go to Raceway Ministries, take the senior class to Raceway Ministries at the end of this month for the NASCAR race set up for Raceway Ministries, and they have the entire weekend. They serve families that are there as guests for NASCAR, and it's just an awesome. So we're able to set up for them. One Day with God Camps is a prison ministry, which some of our parents are. Family movie night, muffins with mom, donuts with dad, and then we've got the daddy-daughter dance coming up in a few weeks. So would encourage you to enjoy that and be a part. So in missions, we really are evangelizing the lost, assimilating the evangelized, discipling the assimilated, and unleashing the discipled. And so we have the opportunity in a few weeks to graduate 55 students, and they will be unleashed with their faith. And regardless of what level of faith, we know that they've heard the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ while they're here. And so our purpose really through missions is to impact the world, but that begins right here in our backyard. That begins right here in Locust Grove and then expands internationally. And it is to know Jesus and to make him known. The foundational verse for Strong Rock in 2006, 7, 5, as we were beginning the thought of what it could be, is Luke 2:52. It says, "And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man." And that's what we want our graduates to be, to continue to grow in wisdom, to continue to grow in stature, and to have the favor of God and the favor of man. That's a great picture for a graduate. We're honored that you're here tonight.
If any of you are interested in going on a missions trip, just see David. Your kids probably haven't told you this, but parents are allowed to go on missions trip. And actually, you don't even have to go on the same one that your kids go on. You can go on a different one if you'd like. So we're running a little late tonight, and I apologize. It's probably my fault. I told the directors to just hit the highlights, and there's just too many exciting things going on right now. So I promise you we are just almost done. We continue to be recognized as one of the top schools in Georgia through a national ranking system through Niche. You can go and look all about the school on there. If you'd like, you can go on there and give us an evaluation on Niche. That's how they decide the rankings of the schools is through interaction from parents. Strong Rock Annual Fund, you probably hear about this a lot. We're about half funded with that right now, but we're still looking to raise another $200,000. That's important because as you saw from the earlier slide, it represents about 5% of our annual budget. So if you haven't given yet, I encourage you to do so. Listen to me, we tell you this, but we really mean it. It's not as much of the amount as it's the participation. You can see that we only have 22% of our families participating at this point in the year. We really need to get that up in front of 75% because one day we're going to need to build a new building and we're going to need to have a major capital campaign, and we would like to get some foundations to partner with us. But the only way they're going to partner with us with significant funds is if we can show that our base is invested. And the way they look at that is family participation. So if you guys can help us out with that in any amount, we appreciate that. We're looking into some things to make that easier for you in future years. But again, just you can go on the website and donate. See David or myself if you have any questions regarding that. Another way that you can give the schools to the Georgia Gold program. This is the best kept secret in Georgia. We don't have a school voucher, but we've got pretty close because you can actually contribute money to Georgia Gold and get a dollar for dollar state tax credit. So that's you give them money, they give your money right back in the form of a state tax credit. So instead of giving your money to the state to let them spend it on whatever they want to do, you can give money to Goal, and they're going to give it back to me, and I'm going to use it as financial aid to help needy families come and have the same Christian education here. So keep that in mind. There's actually forms on the table. If you're interested in that, see me, see Nadine, or pick up one of the forms on the way out. Denim and Diamonds, we do not do a lot of fundraisers here. But one night of the year that we do is the Denim and Diamonds auction. That's coming up on March 13th. If you're interested in attending, you can check our website. You can see the prices for tables. Also, if you'd like to donate an item, see Lindsay Theodo. Raise your hand, Lindsay. If you'd like to donate an item, or you have a business who would like to participate, see her. We're looking for those things. It is truly a fundraiser. And I asked Lindsay and her team this year, they said, we want something exciting. What does the school really need? And well, so maybe I went a little bigger than what she thought, but I said, we really need space. We need a sports facility. Our wrestling team is driving off site. We've got some other teams that go off site. Our cheerleaders practice in this facility right here. I said, we need an open space. And so we're going to kick off a campaign to build a sports facility. It's about a $200,000 project, but we're going to kick it off with the auction. Normally we'll raise $60,000, $70,000 at the auction. We're going to try to increase that this year, and if we don't get it, we're going to do it again next year at the auction. But we also have some families and some boosters and some people who are really interested in making this happen. So we're going to kick this off and see if we can't fundraise enough to get this building on our campus put up as soon as possible. It's about a 45 by 100-foot building. Cheerleading can practice in there. Wrestling can set up shop in there. When it's on a rainy day, PE classes can go in there. Drama can be using it to prepare for a production by setting up and being able to stay in there. So every student will be able to benefit from this. We need about $200,000 to make this a reality. A couple more renderings. Mallory Moss, one of our graduates, did these renderings for me, so just shout out to Mallory. But we'd like to make this happen. So you're going to hear about this. We're going to be very purposeful when we get to the auction about doing that. Again, this is an opportunity to give that's going to impact your students directly once we have this extra facility. There's two things that we don't have a lot of here, open space and storage, and we've accommodated both of those in this building. Re-enrollment, if you have not re-enrolled your students for next year, you are going to want to do so in the next week. The $250 enrollment fee ends January 31st. On February 1st, it goes up to $350. So if you have not re-enrolled yet, please do so. If you have any questions about that, you can contact the admissions office, and Denise and Allison will help you with that. Just a reminder, if you guys know somebody who you think would love Strong Rock, somebody whose kid needs to get out of where they're currently at into this type of environment, give them a referral. If they come as a student, tell them to use your name as their referring person, and you'll get $250 per student off of your tuition. So most of our students come from referrals from existing families. All right, that's it for tonight. I just want to thank you guys for coming. Thank you. I apologize for running over a little bit. Let me pray, and we'll be dismissed. Heavenly Father, thank you for this evening. Thank you again for these parents, Lord. We just pray for your protection over the school, over these parents and their families as we finish this second semester. Lord, we just pray for wisdom, and we pray that you'd help us to be faithful to the calling and great stewards of what you've given us here at Strong Rock. It's in your heavenly name we pray. Amen.